G'day guys, Spud from Survive at Southwest here, just out and around the bush in the southwest, and just going to speak to you about a very quick, simple, dirty, improvised splint system if you do manage to roll an ankle or break a leg or something like that, because injuries while out here can be the difference between life and death. But before I do that, just want you to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Hit like and share my videos around. Let's get to it. Okay, so when you're out here, the last thing you want to do is injure your legs. A leg injury or any injury that is severe enough, as I said, can be the difference between life and death. But a few tips on dealing with, say, an ankle injury. Works the same for arms, legs, all your extremities. So first thing you want to do, so in case of a ankle injury, last thing I want to do is take my boot off. If I take my boot off, that's going to swell and I'm not going to be able to get it back on. And I wear high top boots, so that is providing my ankle with support already and it's giving it a bit of compression. But what I want to do is I want to make a splint. So if I've got friends here that have to carry me out, I'm going to make it as easy for them as I can by supporting my ankle. You're probably not going to be able to walk on it, but it's going to do you a world of good. And using basically whatever you can carry. So a pair of spare socks, a schmag, which also you can use a triangular bandage, a bit of paracord. Now, it is very simple to do. Find yourself a stick. Get rid of anything sharp on that stick. Because the last thing you want to do is injure yourself further. Right, so I'll go that way. So that's going to conform with the contour of my leg. But what I've gone and done is I've got another one, which is going to go on the inside. So starting with a bit of paracord. Now this is only to hold it there for now. I can come back and redo it. So let's just start with Clove Hitch on there, and that's purely just to hold the paracord in place while I get it ready. Okay, so my knee's not the bit that's injured, so I can go below the knee, so that way I can still kind of bend up. And I'm just tying that off with a few half hitches behind my leg. Now I don't want to go too tight with the string because I run a chance of cutting off circulation to my leg if I do it that way. Okay. Now I'm starting at the top because I want everything in place and not moving around, because obviously if I've hurt my ankle, I don't want to be playing with that for too long. So let's start with the schmag. So this can also be a t-shirt, it could be anything. Triangular bandage. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this up the same way you fold up a triangular bandage. Also the same with your spare pair of socks. But what I'm doing is I'm going under and going up over or through the shmag. So for this, because I've gone up a bit high, I'm going to tie my socks together. Under. Well, now that I've got enough, I can even go all the way up to the paracord and tie into that. Now, as you can see, I'm doing this on myself. So it is quite easy to do. If I was actually injured, it's gonna hurt like hell. One way to ruin a pair of socks. Make sure that you're comfortable as well. You might have to go and readjust everything like that, because if you're uncomfortable, you're already in pain. The last thing you want is to make it more uncomfortable. But at the moment, I can barely move that ankle. So I have that ankle completely immobilized. And these aren't digging into me too much. This one digs in a bit where I might bend my knee up. But seeing as I want to have my leg elevated, it's not going to be bent up anyway. But that is one very quick way to be able to splint like an ankle injury. If you wanted to do the knee, you just move up a bit further. But again, you want to immobilize that joint as much as possible, help it heal up. It could be the difference between spending 1 or 2 days laid up on your back and 1 or 2 weeks. And out here, that is not what you want. Now we'll move on to splinting an arm. Very similar, but I'm going to turn my shmag or t-shirt into a sling for that one. Again, splinting with a branch. Now that has done a terrific job at immobilizing my ankle. Okay, so splinting an arm is very similar. Arm on there, making sure nothing's sticking into it, and then you can wrap that up. So for now, and then with that bit of paracord again being careful with how tight you tie the paracord. Because the last thing you want to do is do more damage by restricting blood flow. So unlike the leg, when I splinted my arm with the paracord, I've made a bit of a web over a large area. If I just had that as a thin strip, I run the risk of cutting circulation off to my fingers. But right now I've essentially immobilized from my shoulder down. I can still move my shoulder, I can still move my fingers. If I wanted to go further, I would strap the hand to it. If it was more of a wrist, I would only do a brace there. Just when using paracord, make sure that you go over a larger area if you're going to use it to immobilize. Otherwise, you will run the risk of cutting that circulation off. Now, if it is a fracture above the elbow, you want to tie the arm up like that. So there's a few ways of doing it. You can just use a triangular bandage as a sling. You can tie the arm up there and around, and you want to tie it into the body so it can't move around like that. Very difficult to do with one person. So basically, I have my schmag folded in half. And then you've got your basic sort of sling when you tie that up like that. So that there's alright just to keep it immobilized for the interim. But if it's somewhere up at the clavicle or up here, you want to completely immobilize it. So not only do you want it in the sling, but you want to tie that sling to them. So let's just said, this is difficult to do with one person, but I've made my schmag into a sling. What I then want to do is I want to grab that tail and I want to tuck it in somewhere. So again, either using a paracord or something else you've got. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this paracord for now. I'm going to grab normally I'd use a rock or a honky nut, but a couple of sticks are going to do. I'm just going to make a pocket so I can tie that string to there. Flick it around my body, and because I've got that bit of a lump there, I can wrap that around a few times and that's going to hold. So I've essentially stopped that arm being able to move out like that. So there you have it. Couple different ways of splinting and immobilizing limbs if you get damaged in a pinch without the use of a first aid kit. I do carry a first aid kit, but not everyone does. The schmag can be easily a t-shirt or something like that. Paracord, you could use any bit of string, and as you saw in one, I used a pair of socks I tied together as bindings. So once again, guys, if you do like the content I'm putting out on my channel, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss a video. I try to upload a new one each week. If there's something you want me to do a video on, feel free to leave it in the comments and I will see what I can do. Until next time, I'll see you out there.